Hello, my name is Patrick Johnson. This is my individual data visualization project, which I'll cover U.S. school shootings. Before we begin, I want to explain why I'm covering such a sensitive topic. With the increase of coverage of school shootings across the nation and my personal experience during the emergency lockdown at Stockton Galloway's campus during the drive-by shooting near the entrance, back in September. I want to investigate and gain a greater understanding of school shootings across the state and identify any patterns in regards to the shooters and uncover any of their motivations behind their decisions. Um, to briefly touch upon the data sets, I chose three from the National Center for Education Statistics, which covered violent school deaths, casualty counts, and some information on the shooters between 1992 to 2021, whereas the Violence Project analyzed school shootings between 2000 to 2024 and collected data, especially on the perpetrators, um, specifically on demographics, age, gender, and warning signs or factors that may influence their decisions. For the our first visualization, this is the map of the USA, where each state is divided by the total number of school homicides between kindergarten to high schools from the year 2000 to 2024. As you can see, most states are in the low ranges, 10 or less. However, states like California are 49, followed closely by Texas, Pennsylvania, and Florida. As for the timeline of school shootings, there has been a steady, gradual, I should say, total number of school homicides between 1992 to 2021, with a repeating pattern of de-escalation that quickly spikes up within a few years, then de-escalates, spikes up a little, and then de-escalates at its lowest around 20. As for the casualty rates, colleges suffer the worst in terms of um, killed and wounded. Fortunately, they're more wounded um, between the years 2000 and 21 compared to elementary and secondary schools. As for the relations of the shooters to the schools, only 48% of them had no connections. They were complete strangers, whereas only 37% were students at the time. Um, as for the demographic information on the shooters, most were older teens, the young adults, 19 to 24, 96% of which were made up of males. As for their arrest status, current status, 59% were apprehended alive. 31% had committed suicide before the officers can arrest them, and 10% were either killed or wounded by the officers who responded to the scene. As for the warning signs, unfortunately, while the Violence Project couldn't find any substantial correlating evidence between early warning signs and stress factors such as school performance and relationships, most of which identified as no evidence between either two. However, studies from Andrea Kennedy's school shootings identify older teenagers to young adults perpetrators who reported being socially isolated or rejected, victims of bullying, and some of which may have been suffering from mental issues and disorder. So it is a good idea that these individuals are looked after and cared for to prevent future shooters from developing, especially within our digital age and the current state of affairs in the world and in the state. But that is all I have. These are my sources. These are my data sets and visuals. I hope you have a great day, and I thank you for watching.